ABC Sports welcomes you to Burger King College Football today. Burger King, got the urge?
Ever since a ghost galloped across the football fields of the Midwest, the Big Ten Conference has showcased great running backs. Red Grange, the immortal from Illinois, led the way. A year ago, a Wisconsin running back named Ron Dane powered his way to a national rushing record and a Heisman Trophy. The Grange legacy runs on. Michigan's A-train, Anthony Thomas, is on time all the time. Punch his ticket, and he'll wind up in the end zone, which he's done in 12 straight Michigan games. Wisconsin's Michael Bennett is the latest runner in the Grange tradition. He's the fastest human this side of Australia, and he's swallowing yards at a record pace. Some days were made to soak up football. This is one of them in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It is a Big Ten classic. Wisconsin and Michigan come helmet to helmet before more than 100,000. And you know, the Badgers are still recovering from NCAA sanctions for improper benefits to 26 players. But for the first time, Coach Barry Alvarez has all his players eligible. I asked him a short time ago if 1 week is long enough to assimilate everyone.
Well, you know, that's the one thing that concerns me. After 5 games of a normal season, you improve every week, and you should be playing at a pretty high level at the 5th game. That's when we hit our peak a year ago. We haven't had these guys together that long, so that's one of the things that concerns me today.
Now, if you take a look at the Michigan offensive line, it is one of the strengths of this team, and you've given up a lot of rushing yards as the weeks go on. That has to concern you.
Well, we haven't lined up in our regular defense for 4 weeks, other than about a half of the time against Oregon, and I thought we played them pretty well. It'll be nice to be able to play our basic structure rather than 4 and 5 wideouts all day. As you look down on this great scene, you might say for Wisconsin, all feet are on deck. Now let's go to New York. Mike Tirico and Terry Bowden.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to Burger King College Football today from Times Square Stadium here in New York. Mike Tirico in for John Saunders. John's under the weather, and the whole team, John, sends their best. Get back soon. Now, Terry, what about Wisconsin? Their first game without any of the shoe gate suspensions, but you think it had more of an impact than just that one loss in their record?
I think without a doubt. You know, they missed those players' abilities on the field, but when you miss those veterans, Chris Chambers, Nick Davis, and especially Jamar Fletcher, you miss their leadership in the locker room before the game. You miss them. You don't have the great year that it takes to have with chemistry and leadership, and it's very hard to get. I'm not so sure they get that back today.
It's September 30th, but this game could go a long way in determining who doesn't get to the Rose Bowl. It's the first of a doubleheader. Many of you also going to see a Big Ten game at 3:30 Eastern. Drew Brees, a chance to set a couple of Big Ten records at Penn State. In the Big 12, undefeated Kansas State, its first test. Colorado's winless but talented. In the Pac-10, Washington, Oregon, they don't like each other. This is going to be a great one. And in the ACC, Georgia Tech faces North Carolina. Really a must-win for 0-2 in the league. Georgia Tech will take you to the corner of Stadium and Main in Ann Arbor for Michigan, Wisconsin after this message and a word from your ABC station.
This is one of the reasons why you come to Michigan to play football. Day, everybody. Good afternoon. With Gary Danielson. I'm Brent Musburger. Gary, we've got so many important matchups in this game, but let's start with the two quarterbacks. Let's start with Brooks Bollinger.
You know, Brent, you're right. A lot of great matchups. The quarterbacks are so important because traditionally these two teams can stop the run. There's great tailbacks, as you've mentioned in the game, but the quarterbacks have to soften up the defense. Brooks Bollinger is the perfect fit for these guys for the Badgers. Not only does he not turn the ball over, which Barry Alvarez demands from his quarterback, but he can make the broken plays into big plays. He'll have to do this right here against this Michigan defense.
And for the first time, the crowd in Ann Arbor cheered Drew Henson's name as a starter.
Brent, this offense was good before Drew Henson played. Now it's scary good. This guy's the total package. He had 4 touchdown drives in the second half against Illinois in 5 attempts, and his arm makes guys like this guy, David Terrell, real happy.
So the scene is set. It's Michigan, Wisconsin. You don't need to say anything other than that. The kickoff is coming up.
I'm Jack Arute, and welcome back to the Big House. Today is a big day for Michigan fans. They've been waiting for 31 months for today. They've been teased by 19 appearances by the man they're waiting for. But today is the day that the phenom quarterback named Drew Henson makes his first career start. Brent?
All right, Jack, indeed they have waited a long time for this. He performed heroics coming off the bench in Champaign last Saturday night. Hayden Epstein kicks it off for Michigan, won the flip and elected to defer, and coming out is Nick Davis for the Badgers, down shy of the 20-yard line, where Brooks Bollinger is prepared to lead the offense out. His pedigree, he's the son of a coach, and he has that great boundary speed. If he runs the option, he can take it outside, too. The only question about him is the sophomore jinx. He was the freshman of the year in the Big Ten. He has completed less than 50% of his passes so far this year.
But Brent, he's got his weapons back. Receivers, that's what he needs. Those guys, Nick Davis is finally back, and Chambers is back.
Michael Bennett, his biggest weapon of all. Play fake. Bollinger comes deep for the home run ball and incomplete. On the first play of the game, Chambers slipped into the starting lineup, and it was incomplete. And our Chili starting lineup features the Wisconsin offensive line, and unfortunately for the Badgers, they lost a good one. Costa, broken leg, out for the season. Perhaps their best all-around lineman. Chambers still tender. He was in there. We will see Lee Evans, along with Nick Davis, who returned to kickoff, and tight end John Sigmund. Chad Coons, a powerful blocker in front of Bennett, who rushed for almost 300 yards last Saturday in that disappointment against Northwestern. Bennett cuts to the 23, and LeSueur brings him down for the Wolverines. This then the Chili starting defensive lineup. Michigan plays a 3-4, very inexperienced up front. But at the four linebacking positions, keep an eye out for number 17, Larry Foote. He has been their most dominant defender up front so far. Their secondary coming along. They've got some good ones. Whitley and Howard maturing. Curry has made big plays for the Wolverines, and Patman is one of their leading tacklers. Now it is third down and 6 to go for Bollinger and the Badgers. Three-step slant, Chambers, and he's got it for the first down.
Brad, let's take a look at what Wisconsin has to do when they have the ball in this game. They have to, first of all, keep it manageable on third down. Third down, 5 or less, so they can attack this thing. And Brooks Bollinger needs 200 yards some way. I don't care, all in the yard, plus 200 yards are on the ground. Michigan's defense, Bennett, home run guy. Don't let him have the home run. Make Wisconsin drive the ball down the field.
Lee Evans and David Braun check in. That's Braun running through the formation. And movement on the left side as the tight end jumped back across. And immediately the defense responded on the right side for the Wolverines with that movement down there. This is David Whitvet, who is our referee today, and umpire Tony Payne.
Ball starts. Offense. 5 yards. The down remains first.
To Lloyd Carr, and as you look across the coaching landscape in America, you can't find a man who does a better job in big games than Lloyd Carr. First down and 15 after the penalty.
I think Wisconsin showed their hand early, Brent, by play-action pass on the first play of the game. They know they have to soften up the defense.
On a sweep, the speed demon, Bennett, first down at the marker, I believe.
There is the trademark for Wisconsin. The stretch play runs it a little bit differently than Ron Dane. Ron would have got it, but everyone is going to go out one guy over here, and then the stretch outside for Bennett. Dane would have taken this up, get 5-6 yards. Bennett, the sprinter, is going to go to the outside. Nick Davis got a great block right there to the outside in the secondary on Julius Curry.
On first down, Badgers with motion. to the slot. Ballinger rose in that direction, and the pass is dropped.
Brooks had Chambers wide open for 3 or 4 seconds. He got greedy, and that's exactly what you can't do when you're playing quarterback on first down for Wisconsin. You have to have a move the chains type throw. Chambers was wide open. Brooks got him the ball late.
Second down and 10. Barry Alvarez, who's won 3 Rose Bowls, including the last 2. Turned the entire Badger program around. Second and 10. Coming back with Bennett and no hole. Hobson coming from behind. Makes the stop for the Wolverines.
And Michigan front 3, Brent. Great penetration that time. One of those young starters that had to replace Wilson and Freisinger came up with the penetration into the backfield. That blew up the play.
Marcanelli checks in, giving the Badgers an extra tight end. An extra blocker expecting the blitz. Ballinger rolls from trouble. Now he's got a man wide open. Got him. Davis out of bounds. First down. Another terrific third down play for the Badgers. 34 yards.
This has to be disheartening to the Michigan defense. 2 times in this drive already, 3rd and long. This time Ballinger tapes his wits about him, throws the ball downfield, and Nick Davis, who dropped the ball and admitted I had a horrible game last week. The guy from Michigan comes back as there's a bust in the secondary. Todd Howard keeps his eyes off his man, and a big play for the Wisconsin offense.
Folks, the Badgers have hit on 3rd and 15, and now 3rd and 14. Bennett dives for a yard, short of the 25-yard line of the Wolverines.
Brad, we remember a year ago doing this game when Rob Reynos had such a great game up front. There still is penetration up front, but it's a different attack from the Badgers. They're going to tell the Wolverines, you're not going to tee off on us. We're going to make you cover the whole field.
Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9.
2nd and 9. Play is signaled in from the sideline to Ballinger. Davis is off to his left. Lee Evans to his right. And a split back look. Throwing formation with backs out. Ballinger takes off, crosses the 25-yard line, and tackled by Petrozello. We had a chance to ask Barry Alvarez, what do you have to do to beat this Michigan team?
They're a typical Michigan team. They're sound. You have to out-execute them. Your kids have to play well. You have to look for a break, try to take advantage of your strengths.
And he is mixing it up. 5 runs and 4 passes right now. The Badgers with another 3rd down. This has been their big play so far. This one 3rd and 8. Need to reach the 16. Ballinger on a quarterback draws. Got that plus. Smacked at the 9-yard line, giving the Badgers another first down here, Gary, on a 3rd down conversion.
The 3rd in a row, Brent, and that's the exact play that we showed in the open of the game. Ballinger's so valuable to this offense. He doesn't turn around. He's going to drop back and come right up inside. Michigan defense is, I got to get to the quarterback. Foot comes inside. Nice blocking by the offensive line. Nice hit at the end of the play, but Brent, 3 3rd and longs. That is not typical for this Wisconsin offense.
Bennett stacked up. Michigan defensive front. Penetrates that time. And threw him for a loss beyond the 10-yard line. Grant Bowman, the young nose tackle, was in on that play.
As great as runner as Ron Dane was a year ago against this Michigan defense, Dane only gained 88 yards. When you line it up and try to run running game 101, that means the easiest plays against Michigan's defense, just like Coach Barry Alvarez said, they're so sound they're going to stop you. That's why you see Wisconsin 3 wideouts again.
Second down. Bollinger rolling to the right. Intercepted by Howard. Todd Howard picks it off in the end zone. And the drive is thwarted by the interception.
Great job by Todd Howard. He was not covering this man on the play. Brooks sees an open man, but Todd Howard's going to come into the picture, come off of his man who he was covering, reading the quarterback's eyes, and make the interception. Look at that. He thinks he has Davis wide open for a touchdown. Howard comes off his man to make the play.
So the Badgers drive 71 yards in 12 plays, come up empty, and now the wonder kid, number 7, Drew Henson, his first start as a Wolverine. A draw play with the A-train Anthony Thomas, and he runs to the 26-yard line with Eccles, the cornerback, making the stop. Drew Henson, minor league baseball player in the summer, signed a $2 million bonus contract. Very instinctive athlete, and I guess the only question about him is we have heard so much about it. There have been so many stories, and you just wonder, has the youngster been overhyped? But here he is now with a 2nd and 4.
9-man front by Wisconsin.
Thomas. A bit short of that first down. Archilli's starting lineup for the Michigan Wolverines. Outstanding offensive line. Backus and Mo Williams, the tackles. Steve Hutchinson's an All-American there at guard. Everywhere you look, there's quality in that offensive line. Fine wide receivers. Terrell has scored a touchdown in 5 straight games. Jopper, the tight end, and Marquise Walker, too, is a good one. B.J. Askew, a converted tailback, is now the fullback. He sets in front of Thomas. There's more depth at tailback than there has been. A fine-looking freshman in Chris Perry, 23, whom we will see. 3rd and short. The H-back power load for the A-train, who's got the Michigan first down. Defensively for the Badgers, they'll line up this way. That front 4. Wendell Bryant admittedly did not play well last week against Northwestern, but they're all returning starters. The linebackers, you can see what Grayson did against NU with 19 tackles. And in that defensive backfield, Jamar Fletcher returns. Jason Dorey made that stop. He's an underrated free safety. He is a beauty. Thomas to the 36-yard line on his first down carry.
Let's take a good look at what Michigan has to accomplish in this game, the Dell Game Solutions. Look at the game plan a week ago. Wisconsin, as Barry talked about, is not comfortable when they spread the field. Spread them out, chew them up with that liberal offense. Go left. Hutchinson and Backus, 2 great guys on the left side of that line. And Wisconsin has to give the baseball to Henson. A little bit of changeup, fastball, and curve. Don't let this guy get set up on it.
Henson spreads the field. 4 wide receivers on 2nd down and 6. Won the draw. And the Badgers were ready. They weren't fooled. Favre, number 96, was there defensively.
You mentioned that front 4 for Wisconsin, Brent. They are extremely ready to play this football game. They chased around that Northwestern spread offense a week ago. They feel more comfortable with Michigan's offense. At least they say, we know where they are.
Henson and the Wolverines facing a 3rd down. Pressure, hit on the release. Incomplete, I believe.
I think it's a
but the Badgers think that they got him before the arm was going forward, and the officials agree with him.
It was Mark Eccles, the corner, on a corner blitz that time. David Terrell's going up to Drew and said, you got to look over at me. Then when you're short side in the field, you got your eyes left. That's a bust on the quarterback. You got to make sure that corner from the weak side of the formation comes in.
Oh, this is close, folks. This one is close.
Coming from the backside, and just as he let it go, you're right, Brent, that's another one of those calls. It's right at the edge. Is it a fumble or is it a pass?
Badgers have the ball inside the 35-yard line. Here's Bennett. Searches for daylight. Stop made by Brackens.
if Michigan's defense looks much different in any area, even though they've lost a lot of veteran players in the defensive line, you watch the Michigan defense without Ian Gold and Dhani Jones, it looks like a different defense. Those guys were so quick to the football.
Davis out to the left. Wide side of the field. Todd Howard is matched up against him. Chambers will go to the slot now. Bollinger rolls to that direction. Slips a tackle and makes it back to the tight end. Kashima, the young man from Montreal, in hot pursuit. Monday night, ABC Sports will bring you a AFC Western Division matchup. Ricky Waters and the Seattle Seahawks battle the former Michigan quarterback Elvis Grbac and the Chiefs. That's Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Here's another third down.
Another third and long also.
The Badgers have converted all 3 of their earlier third downs in this game. Bollinger steps away, in trouble. They will not convert this one. Julius Curry and Rumashek on top of the quarterback.
Even though Michigan came with a safety type like blitz, you're going to see 2 guys come off the corner from the left top side of the screen right there. It's still zone principles to the outside. And when the guys are sitting, that linebacker sitting right in the middle of the field, that's what Brooks saw right as he let the ball go.
Vitaly Vysetsky, the young soccer player out of the Soviet Union who will become an American citizen this summer, set to attempt a 49-yard field goal here at the Big House. And that baby is right down State Street. Vitale comes to Ann Arbor and boosts the Badgers into a 3-0 lead in the first quarter. One of the great stages in all of sport, and these views are courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Goodyear, providing aerial coverage of the world's sporting events for more than 75 years. The Badgers score first on this glorious Saturday afternoon. Now it will be Michigan's turn at bat following the turnover. Wisconsin converts a field goal. Walter Cross. Juggle, keeps it. 15 to the 23-yard line, and a flag comes down. And it goes against the return team, so Drew Henson will come out a little bit further in a hole here in his own territory. We asked him the early goals for the Michigan offense.
Yeah, I think we want to come out and be able to move the ball early, establish the run in the first quarter. If we can do that, off it, we can establish a play-action pass and drop-back game when we need to. But being able to run the ball early is key.
Which they have not really been able to do so far. They have run for only 14 yards on that first series before they turned it over.
Remember a year ago, the A-Train 22 attempts for 46 yards in this football game against Wisconsin.
The A-Train back on the field. Terrell and Fletcher are locked up at the bottom of your screen. You could see the Badgers number 2 backing away. He's playing about 10 yards off of him. The A-Train going nowhere. Folks hardly left the station. Wendell Bryant makes the stop. Let's check in with Jack Arute. Jack, what a beautiful day to be walking the sideline.
Oh, indeed it is, Brent. Drew Henson is still, he says, totally recovered from his broken foot, but the trainers for Michigan take no chances. They take this thick piece of plastic padding with an inserted hard piece of plastic and put it on the outside of the shoe. More importantly, guys, he plays without spikes.
Yep, doesn't have to start the double play today. Second down for Drew. Off a play fake, has great time, goes for Marquise Walker in a battle, and Marquise catches it. Marquise Walker at the Badgers' 40-yard line. Folks, you won't see a receiver concentrate any better than Marquise just did.
Marquise Walker had a huge catch last year on a play from Tom Brady. But watch at the end of this play, a long bomb. watch number 2, Fletcher, come into the screen and try to make the play. And Walker just keeps on it. Protection up front. There they are, the left side. Hutchinson, Bacchus. Good job by Chris Perry in there, too.
Chris Perry gets his first carry of this game. Steps it out of bounds to the sideline after that 45-yard gain.
Really interesting, Brent, that Drew Henson plays in the game without spikes. You would think on a drop and on that field out there, it's not like playing on AstroTurf. Going to have to watch him as he has to throw quickly and how it affects his footprint.
2nd and 9. Off a play fake, Henson again drills it over Terrell's head, incomplete. Fletcher, the defender, on Terrell, and he is shadowing him across the field. As college football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. Dell, providing the infrastructure to power your e-business, and Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. Wisconsin 3, Michigan nothing. Ronald Bellamy in the slot to the right. Henson back in the shotgun formation on 3rd down. He's flushed out of the fumble. Dive for the ball. The Badgers have it. Henson turns it over twice in the first quarter. John Favre recovers the fumble.
Henson so good at scrambling a week ago against Illinois. Comes in this side, reads the pass rush correctly, finds the hole, and then just drops it. Coming back, pretty good coverage. Zone drops by this Wisconsin defense. Nobody there. Find the hole. Now make the defense pay. Nobody caught it. An unforced turnover, and Favre out of Cleveland St. Ignatius jumps right on it for the 2nd turnover of the game.
We'll take a break. 2:37 remaining here in the opening quarter, and the Badgers are up 3. Growing up in Grand Forks, North Dakota, Dollinger always watched the Ohio State-Michigan game, whether it's being played in Columbus or here in the Big House. But he didn't see the stadium until he was a redshirt freshman. And he asked if he could come and watch the game, and he came in to see the Big House, and he said he was awfully impressed by 100,000 folks. Now he is playing in front of this crowd, and on the end around, it's going to be a pass off of it. Evans throwing downfield long. Pavin's got it. Interception at the 21-yard line. So Patman picks off Evans' attempt at the flanker pass.
Is that Wisconsin in those white uniforms? This is as open as they've been. You can see the respect they have for this Michigan defense. Fake off tackle. There's the reverse, and just as he lets it go, he gets it stuck to him right at the end of the play that time. And this ball should not have been thrown. No one was fooled on the play at all.
It's timeout at the Big House.
Brent, you would think Dwayne Patman will take that interception and put it on a highlight reel. Well, that's not the case, because his hero, no, he doesn't come from football. It's a guy that shares his same birthday, April 25th. We're talking about movie star Al Pacino.
Got some good flicks in his room, my friend. 1st down and 10 at the 20-yard line, and a bus to the 31-yard line with the A-Train's best run of the day.
Michigan would love, as Drew Henson said, be able to establish a running game early in this football game. They have not in the first quarter so far, and that has forced them to try to throw the ball, and they made mistakes. Mental mistakes, unforced errors. Drew should have saw the blitz, and he dropped the ball on the other play.
2nd and 1. One back with an extra tight end for the Wolverines. The A-Train picks his way for the 1st down.
Very interesting. Anthony Thomas says the reason he's so much more physical of a runner this year is because he knows he has a backup behind him, Chris Perry, and there's the 2. I call him Gene Upshaw, Art Shell, the old Oakland Raiders left side. A liberal offense. 2 seniors as good as Michigan's ever had right there, lined up together.
First down and a slot to the wide side. Come back with Thomas to the 40-yard line. Eccles makes the stop, and this just good old-fashioned Schembechler football right now for Michigan, trailing by a field goal here in the first quarter. They just want to establish a little dominance if they can with this veteran offensive line. And now Anthony Thomas averaging 4.2 yards a crack, and it is 2nd and 4. Nothing fancy so far about this series after 2 turnovers. They're coming right at you, helmet to helmet, and the Badgers were ready that time. And Doring, that free safety, number 8, steps it up. And a reminder that next Saturday we kick off our doubleheader with either Michigan against Purdue or Ohio State or Wisconsin. Also, many of you will see Texas, Oklahoma, the annual battle down in Dallas. So check your local listings for the first game in your area. Here, this is our first game today. 3rd and 1 for the Wolverines. Keep it right there, and the Badgers were ready for it, and it's going to be close, folks. Doring stepping up there again into the hole. This will depend on the spot. Got it. First down, Michigan.
Nick Bryson, inside linebacker, played here 2 years ago, kind of a battlefield promotion, but this is what you have to do if you're a linebacker against this Michigan running attack. You have to take on that lead blocker at the line of scrimmage, and that's what Bryson did right there. A year ago it was Godorsey, and now Bryson in that spot.
Play fake. Henson runs hard. Going to go right out of bounds at the line of scrimmage as the quarter comes to an end. The Badgers lead the Wolverines by a field goal. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Gary Danielson and Jack Arute. I'm Brent Musburger. As you look down at a jammed big house for Michigan, Wisconsin. Wolverines trail it by a field goal. We start the second quarter. Here's 2nd down. Here's Bellamy on an end around in a foot race. Got the corner and the first down, Michigan.
And when we were in Columbus a week ago, one of the guys the Ohio State coaches talked about was Ronald Bellamy, saying he is one of the guys that we really wanted, and Michigan got. Tremendous future for this guy, true sophomore, brilliant receiver, and great speed. They got 3 great ones in the wideout category, going Knight, Terrell, and Bellamy.
First down inside the 40. Here comes Thomas to the 34-yard line. It has been a game marred by turnovers. We have had a total of 4. 2 on each team, and we have a turnover of our own. Here comes Henson back and hit on the blind side. Badgers recover. Then he coughs it up scrambling, losing the handle. But Bollinger has thrown an interception, and Evans throwing a flanker bomb off an end around. Pitched the second one. 2nd down, draw play. Perry, the freshman, smacked.
23, Chris
Eccles.
Ball carrier.
Everywhere you go around the Michigan football team, they'll tell you that number 23, Chris Perry, is a fine prospect, one of the best in the country. All he needs now is experience. He'll come over to the sideline as the A train replaces him. Pretty good number he's wearing there, folks. 23 around here in the Midwest. They think of one man, that being Michael Jordan, the king, with number 23. Here's 3rd down. Throwing. Got Askew, the fullback, down the sideline. T.J. Askew, a converted tailback, slips out. A play the Wolverines worked on in practice Thursday. Stan Parrish, the offensive coordinator, thought he could burn him with it, and he did just there.
One of the nice things about Drew Henson, everybody talks about his big arm, but it's his accuracy with the football. Watch how well this ball is thrown to the outside. When you're throwing to fullbacks and tailbacks, you can't expect them to make tough catches. That was right there on the hip, a perfect throw, and a nice first down for the offense.
Askew offsets. Thomas the tail. And the Badgers claim that Seymour flinched.
I think Drew was checking off outside that time to David Terrell. One-on-one outside. Number 1 and number 2.
Ball start. Offense. 5 yards. The down remains first.
David Terrell matched up against Fletcher. Both those guys want the ball. Fletcher wants him to throw the ball at him, and Terrell wants the football.
Off to the left side. The matchup is there, Fletcher and Terrell. But it's a draw with the A train. Let's go to New York and check in with Mike Tirico. Mike.
All right, Brent, this Burger King update takes us 60 miles north of you guys, up in East Lansing. Wisconsin fans know all about Zach Kustok, the Northwestern quarterback. 39-yard touchdown to Teddy Johnson. Purple Power up 7, but a Michigan State response with T.J. Duckett from 11 yards out. They're all even at 10, late first quarter in East Lansing. Back to Brett and Gary in Ann Arbor.
Interesting, Gary.
Yeah, that's a great play. Well, there's 4 great tailbacks in this conference, isn't there? I mean, the 2 guys we got here, Damian Anderson at Northwestern and T.J. Duckett. Boy, there's some great talent at tailback.
Here's second down for the Wolverines. Henson going to roll off a fake. Once Terrell going to have to throw this one away as Fletcher was all over Terrell in the back of the end zone. I mean, there was no daylight. Fletcher didn't let him breathe back there, folks.
One-on-one. Fletcher plays a unique style. He likes to play off, and he likes to look in at the quarterback and try to read the play, and then one-on-one coverage. 2 of the best in college football right there. And Henson taking advantage of the new rule right here. You can now this year, when you're outside of the pocket, ground the ball. He just throws it away, tees it up again, 3rd and 10.
Kalaji chasing him that time. This is the 13th play of the drive, and the Wolverines want to talk about it. With the time clock ticking away, a timeout called here by the Wolverines.
It wasn't just good coverage outside, good coverage by the linebackers. The ball was trying to get here to the tight end on the play, but he kind of falls down and gets knocked down on the play. That's what busted. They try to get the fullback out here. This guy falls down. Good defense all around by Wisconsin to force that throwaway.
13th play of this drive is coming up following the interception. Marquis slotted to the left. Terrell outside him. Henson looks in the direction of his ace. Goes to Terrell. Out of bounds. 4th down. Field goal time for the Wolverines. Fletcher and Terrell, what a duel.
Yeah, all 3 players on that one did their job. The quarterback threw it in the only spot available. Fletcher forces the receiver to the outside. Now watch this makeup speed. Fletcher runs, turns, perfect throw, perfect coverage, great catch, out of bounds. When you catch it next to the bass drum, you're out of bounds.
Jeff Delverne won the kicking battle. Coach Lloyd Carr taking a look at both of them prior to the start of this game. Remember, Delverne came in against Illinois. This a 29-yarder to tie it. No good. The kicking problems continue at Michigan.
Remember, this is a 3-man unit right here. There's where the kicker's looking for the ball. The snap is high. John Navarre goes up, and when you go up, you're going to miss your spot. Hands it down, puts it down a little inside the spot, and the kicker pushes the ball, and the Northwestern guy in the stand, the Wisconsin guy in the stand cheers.
it's the Badgers football. Brooks Bollinger, the sophomore quarterback. They need to get their running back going. Here is Bennett, and the Wolverines were ready for just that. And they are stuffing Bennett so far. Well, time now for our Aflac trivia question. Folks out there in Badgerland, how many Big Ten teams have gone on to the Rose Bowl after losing to Northwestern? Think about that one. We'll have the answer a little bit later.
Well, if Wisconsin's going to make it, they're going to be one of them. They're going to add to the total, right? So
exactly. Second down and 11. Bollinger swings now to Bennett. Slipping down and covered by Eric Brackens. Let's go down and check in with Jack and Root.
Well, Brent, he may not be Ron Dane, but Michael Bennett certainly has a good pedigree on his own. When you consider the fact that his Uncle Tony, playing for the Packers and the Colts, is Michael's mentor. In fact, they talk 4 times a week. And in case you're wondering, who's the fastest football player? How about USC's Sultan McCullough?
Yep. He's supposed to be number 1. Be a heck of a foot race, though, folks. Bennett was invited to the Olympic trials and passed it up to concentrate on football. And right now, the Wolverines have been concentrating on him pretty good. Bollinger on a 3rd and long, faces pressure, gets it off incomplete, threw it out of bounds, and the Badgers are 3 and out. 73 total yards for Alvarez's offense and 133 for the Wolverines so far.
When you run the sprint out to the outside and that secondary does a great job of covering downfield, you're in trouble because you got nobody to throw the ball to. You try to get rid of it, but you know you're going to catch one, and Brooks catches 2.
Kevin Stempke standing back on the Badgers' 1-yard line. Ready to punt it. And Bellamy, who is an awesome punt returner already. Great punt there. Bellamy catches it at the 27-yard line. And excellent coverage by the Badgers. And what a wonderful punt for Kevin Stempke. So Lloyd Carr and the Wolverines are winning the statistics battle, but on the scoreboard, Gary, they're down by a field goal.
I really think they need to throw completable passes. You saw the fullback out in the flat. They need to get the ball to David Terrell. He's starting to get flustered. You need to throw him the ball, hooks, crossing routes, get the ball to your playmakers.
Thomas bounds up to the 29-yard line. Well, it was Illinois last Saturday night. Let's check in with Mike Tirico and see how they're doing today with Minnesota.
Well, Brent, maybe a little bit of a hangover from that loss to the Wolverines. The quarterback, Travis Cole, is running in a couple of times, one from 1 yard out, one from 8 yards out. Minnesota leads 14-0, and they are driving right now on Illinois in the red zone, early second quarter.
Well, my partner Gary called that one. You love to go first.
Yeah, I did. I thought they might be a hangover in that game. Mike was right on it.
Indeed. 2nd down and 6. Henson, receiver covered, takes off, and tackled at the 31-yard line. Wendell Bryant along with Bryson.
Just love the style of Fletcher in the backfield. He loves to play off. He's covering Terrell on the play. Loves to look in and then stay and give a big cushion and then break on the ball. Terrell kind of blows a tire. Fletcher, look how quick he is and ready to play. That's what Henson saw, and he had to get out of the pocket.
I'm seeing a little slippage down there by both teams on this field this afternoon.
Brent, this is as good of the field I've seen in Michigan in a long time. They've had problems with the turf field.
3rd down and 6. Flanker screen. Marquise almost slipped free. Oh, baby, had he just slipped that last tackle, he'd have been racing for the end zone, as it was a 15-yard gain and a 1st down, Michigan.
slip screen to the outside, and all the other defenders in this play have their head turned. It's man coverage to the outside. You can see the safety come up on the play on the inside Doring, and Walker does not fall down here. Boy, that's a touchdown. Look at the big guy downfield. Goodwin down there ready to block.
First and 10 for the Wolverines. Henson wants to go downfield, has to come underneath. Bellamy diving, incomplete.
Michigan has opened up that offense a bit, but Wisconsin is ready for it. Two offensive receivers go out. Wisconsin covers them with 4 defensive backs, nowhere to throw the ball.
I don't think I've ever seen Terrell have so much trouble trying to get separation.
And because Fletcher is setting off of him and waiting for him, he's in better position than David is.
3-3. Ready.
Second and 10. Draw with Thomas. Third and long. College football on ABC, brought to you by Chrysler. We're reinventing the passion for driving. Burger King got the urge. National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. And Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Now we just saw Thomas slip on that play also. Remember, this field a few years ago was lowered about 10 feet, and they've always had problems getting great footing on this football field.
Third and 9. Henson wants to throw back. Askew again, but this time the Badgers jumped it. Joey Bose, the strong safety, making the stop. Let's check in on that turf with Jackaroo.
Well, Gary, you're so right. In fact, for old schools, Michigan Wolverine fans, you notice there's no M anymore. They thought maybe the paint was causing a problem. They have tried everything with this field, and ever since they lowered it, the problem is when a player makes a cut with his cleats, a divot comes out about the size, guys, of a Tiger Woods 7-iron.
That's a big one.
250 yards. We got a timeout, Badgers. If you're a college football fan, I certainly hope that someday you get to come to the Big House and watch a game on an afternoon like this.
Yep. Here's the fastball changeup curve. Here's the curve. Get up and Terrell jam him this time. Fletcher's right there. David Terrell is starting to get flustered by this defensive blanket that Fletcher's putting on top of him now.
And another slip by the punter. Epstein goes down. There's the yellow flag on it. This one is kind of interesting, folks, because he doesn't get hit unless he slips. But somehow Hayden Epstein celebrates Rosh Hashanah by getting that punt out of there.
Ball comes back. Epstein, who has struggled, so there it is. There's another slip on the play. The ball did not touch the ground. If it does, you can hit the punter. But since it doesn't, it's probably a running into the kicker, and I hope it's a 5-yard penalty. That would probably be the fair call.
Running into the kicker. Defense.
So it's 4th and 9, and only a 5-yard penalty.
First down.
It's a good call by Lloyd Carr. They got it inside the 20-yard line. Decline it. Let's get on defense.
Now, you know what he wants is roughing. You can read his lips, folks. He's down there lobbying. He lobbied pretty hard at Champaign and got a couple nice calls down the stretch, didn't he?
Absolutely. He learned it from the best. Bo Schembechler was great at it, and he learned it from Woody.
First down for the Badgers, who lead this one by a field goal. Here's Bennett cutting back. Hobson able to clean up. And let's check in with Mike Tirico on Clemson.
Brent, number 8, Clemson just dominating Duke. Backup quarterback in for Duke today, D. Bryant, going to be picked off by Brian Mance. He's going to bring it back 57 yards after the tip drill worked successfully. Travis Zachary ran it in from a few yards out. Zachary 2 rushing touchdowns. Woodrow Dantzler 1. Number 8, undefeated Clemson is laughing at Duke.
There, Gary, Tommy Bowden has really put the show on the road.
Absolutely. He got there. The coverage was a little bare. He's done his system.
Penalty flag as Bennett sprints to the 31-yard line, but there is a flag.
There is a flag on the play.
Michigan in the West of the
offside. Defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Well, the Aflac trivia question. Remember, how many Big Ten teams have gone on to the Rose Bowl after losing to Northwestern? Folks, the answer is none. However, Gary, one team did go to the Rose Bowl after losing to our Wildcats. Oregon State played a non-conference game and went on.
No one in the Big Ten has ever done it.
No one. The Badgers battling that history, and you know, Bennett is just so close right now with Hobson hanging on.
Brent, it's a different track surface for Bennett, though. So far, the Wisconsin 4 games, all at home, played on turf. This isn't a fast track for Bennett here either. It's going to be much tougher for him to show that explosive speed. And Michigan does not gamble defensively. They love to keep their safeties back.
Bennett has rushed for 36 yards, but he's carried it 10 times. So he's averaging just over 3 yards a pop. He's got it on a little draw, cuts back, slipped a little bit. So that's exactly what Gary was telling you. How would you like to see him on a fast surface, folks? How would you like to see Michael Bennett, the fastest man in the Big Ten, get down on the blocks and take off? And what did he do in the 100-meter final? There he is, coming right at you. He was also the champion at 200 meters and indoors. He won 2 races, including the 60-meter dash. So Michael Bennett is the man now that Ron Dayne has moved on to the New York Giants. Here's 3rd down and 2. Motion with Davis for the Badgers. Play fake. Bollinger drops it for the fumble. Michigan. Michigan, our 5th turnover of the afternoon. How about that? Now they're waving it off down here. Now I think the other official, yep, there it is.
Well, I thought he had it. I thought Retzlaff had this ball. 3rd and 2, bootleg pass. Coming out again. Hobson, I think, is the guy that got the hit on him. It looked like. Good throw. Retzlaff catches it, takes it. Oh, that's a fumble. That's a big hit. That's a fumble. And Hobson is the guy that caused it. Victor Hobson, look at that. Stepping ahead. He still has the ball. Uh-oh.
So this week, folks, they'll send a letter of apologies to Lloyd Carr and Michigan.
That's a 50-yard. 50-yard difference.
And Bellamy going to let it roll, and it's going to be downed.
That's a 60-yard difference in field position on the play.
A 58-yard punt that time for Kevin Stemke, downed at the 2-yard line after the officials boot one. Well, last year there was one big moment. It's our Marriott moment from the Michigan-Wisconsin game. Here's what it looked like. We'll get back to that in just a moment. Here it'll be 1st down for the Wolverines.
And Lloyd is doing it exactly right. He's letting them know that he knows they missed one. He'll take one in the 4th quarter, won't he?
Yes, indeed. Thomas to the 7-yard line. Mike Eccles from his cornerback spot.
4 minutes to go in the first half. David Terrell has not caught a ball. He was so excited about Henson coming back in his offense. He has to control his frustration level in this football game. A win is more important than reception.
Here's Thomas, and Dorian is there. Now let's get an update on the Texas Longhorns, and here's Mike.
Right, number 13, Texas, slow start. Chris Sims had some mistakes. They had a blocked punt, and Reggie White of Oklahoma State has run for over 100 yards, 10 yards on the score there, and Bob Simmons' team leading by 4 at Austin.
So what do you make about that one, Mr. Davis?
I think they should settle on a quarterback. I've been saying it for a year and a half. It's very difficult for a team to watch 2 quarterbacks come in and out of the game.
3rd down and 2 for Michigan here with 3:45 to go in the half. The sweep, and Wisconsin destroys it. Kalaji making the stop. So let's go back now to our Marriott moment of a year ago. This was the big play for the Wolverines. And around, double reverse. Terrell's got it. Terrell swings 40, 30, on a cutback. Terrell, end zone, touchdown, Michigan. Now the Wolverines went on to win that one, giving the Badgers their 2nd consecutive loss. Remember the week before they'd been upset by Cincinnati, but folks, that was it. They ran the table, won the 2nd consecutive Rose Bowl.
I don't understand this, Brett. Michigan's going to go to the right. Now, a right, that means a conservative offense. They should go to the left and be liberal. That's Ann Arbor, a liberal community. Go with your 2 offensive linemen. Kalaji, number 78. Bryson comes upside. Nothing on 3rd down and short.
College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chrysler. We're reinventing the passion for driving. Burger King got the urge. National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. And Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Nick Davis is back to field this punt. Grew up a big Michigan fan. Michigan turned him down, and now he's got a chance to make a play here.
Remember, Epstein saved them a few seconds ago after slipping. Davis at the 48 slips the first tackle, crosses midfield into Wolverine territory.
Oh, this field's horrible.
And a reminder that coming up on Valvoline Halftime 2000, Mike Tirico and Terry Bowden will have all the scores and highlights and a feature on Terry's early choice for the Heisman Trophy. Purdue quarterback Drew Brees, and we'll see next week against these Wolverines.
There's tremendous talent on this football field, and all of them are being hampered by poor field conditions. What's it going to be like here in November when it gets cold and wet?
Better send a group quickly down to Nebraska.
That's right. That's what we're going to go to.
10. Bennett slips as he crosses the 30.
Look how upset Bennett is. See, I mean, he can't show his speed on this field. We talked about the great running backs. So far, both basically in check. Anthony Thomas doing all right, but neither one has hit that big play yet.
And going to be tough on this grass.
That's right. That's right.
Going to be real tough.
What happens on this grass is you're going to see a corner or somebody fall down and a big play happen because of it.
And the defensive end jumped before the snap. That'll cost the Badgers here, who lead it by a field goal.
Wisconsin has been on Wisconsin like in this game on offense. You know, basically should have 3 turnovers. They already have 2.
Prior to snap, false start, offense. 5 yards. The down remains 2nd.
Brent, in Barry's tenure at Wisconsin, he's 14-0 when he doesn't turn the ball over. So far, he's got 2. Should have 3.
So John Sigmund, the tight end, penalized for that infraction. 2nd down and 12. Bollinger slips the pressure, penalty flag. thrown by the referee as Bollinger steps out of bounds at the 30-yard line, but a flag.
Kashima, the freshman, the true freshman, beats Ben Johnson that time around the corner and forced the hold. Kashima's a great-looking athlete. Number 95.
Well, as we look down from high above, these pictures courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. For more than 75 years, Goodyear has been providing aerial coverage at the world's major sporting events. Going to bring them way back.
Yeah,
all the way back to their own 41-yard line. Remember, they got to go to the Wolverines 27 for a first down. So this will be second and a whole lot.
Second, and Wisconsin should start thinking here of not turning the ball over and punting the ball. You do not. Wisconsin doesn't have this type of offense.
A 20-yard penalty. Bollinger.
Yep.
Dances to the 41, and Kashima again.
Kashima out of Canada, true freshman, comes in these nickel situations because there's great ability to come off the edge. Love those 6'4", 240 freshmen nowadays that come out, huh? Beautiful player.
They can help you, can't they?
Yes, they can. Jimmy Herman, the defensive coordinator, loves it. He's a lot smarter with those guys.
Third down and 32, and stopped prior to the snap.
Delay of game. Offense, 5 yards. The down remains third.
There's Foot headed off the sideline there with an injured right ankle is what that would appear to be. I'm sure that Jack will get it, and that could certainly hamper the front seven of the Michigan Wolverines. He's their leader down there on the field.
Most experienced front seven player they have.
Yeah. Third and 37. What do you call here, folks?
Michigan should call a timeout.
Here comes Bennett on a slant to midfield. Got a few of them back anyway. Howard in pursuit number 3. Reminder that this is just the first game of a doubleheader. Here in the Midwest, you'll see Drew Brees and Purdue take on Penn State. Other regional action: Kansas State, Colorado, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Washington, Oregon. All part of our college football doubleheader right here on ABC.
The last snap was very high. And nice job of grabbing it this time by last time by Stemke. Let's see you check out this one.
Stemke has been as valuable a player as Wisconsin has featured here in the first
today. Yes. Another high.
Bellamy from the 12 dances to the 26. With a minute 9 to go here. The Wolverines, 2 timeouts left. They trail it by a field goal. Now we can check in on that big arm of Drew Henson. And I would guess if you point to any problem hampering Henson, it is number 2 over there in a white jersey, because he is not letting the superstar free.
Right. I think number 2 and the Chevy MVP leader so far the field for both defensive temes. I
think they got a chance. Did you come to that all by yourself, or did you need help on that?
No, way to go. I got to get my finger down.
Henson gonna run and dive out to that 32-yard line. You'd think a baseball player would know how to slide, huh, folks? Bryson in pursuit, and he just dove for it. Hit as he touches the ball. He looked and said, where's that license plate? Where is number 2? And number 2 said, I'm right here.
Barry is getting second-guessed by a lot of people. I wouldn't do it, but a lot of people are second-guessing him because he held Fletcher out of the Northwestern game and let him play against Oregon, a Big Ten game. You wonder what Northwestern would have been able to do with that spread offense had Fletcher been on the field.
Whitley, who plays corner normally, is right there in the slot, playing wide receiver. Follow one Woodson. Here's the blitz. Hit Thomas, the hot receiver, first down, and the clock will stop. 39 seconds.
Michigan still has 2 timeouts remaining. And I don't know what field goal range is. Do you know Michigan this year? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's inside the 10. I think our producer, Bob Goodis, has that one right on the money. Henson waits, fires high, and incomplete to stop the clock.
Great coverage by the Wisconsin secondary. Their zone defense really feels comfortable with this Michigan offense. Kevin Cosgrove, for years a Big Ten coach, defensive coordinator for Wisconsin, says, I think I understand what Michigan likes to do. You have to keep this offense in front of you. They like to run a lot of smash routes. That's exactly what it was right there, which one guy short, one guy to the corner, and Wisconsin was ready for it.
Yeah, we rave about Fletcher, but the corner on the other side, Eccles, is not too bad either, folks. Going long, turn! At the 25-yard line, clock is stopped. 24 seconds remaining.
There's a big-time arm. If you want to measure a quarterback's arm, and when it's really important, it's not how far you can throw the ball, it's can you put it on a line. This one's put on a line, and Terrell shows the courage to go up and get the ball.
Yeah, that was a very courageous grab for 33 yards in the middle. Henson back with the shotgun. Fires side, and the clock is stopped inside the 20-yard line. So Terrell going to work here in the closing seconds of the first half in this one-on-one duel with Fletcher.
Not only does Michigan now get to go in at halftime, maybe with a 3-3 tie, but they get to go in at halftime with a David Terrell who's ready to play the second half. This is a huge last drive.
18 ticks of the clock left. Second down and 3. Henson going to take off. They'll have to quickly use a timeout. He's short of the first down. With 11 seconds. Clock is stopped.
Still has.
So a timeout called by Michigan.
We know that leaders are not born. Leaders.
So Wisconsin leads it by a field goal, and remember there are 2 specialists over here on the sideline for the season. Hayden Epstein is only 1 of 5, so he is in a slump, and they have used Delverne, who already has missed one today from 29 yards after a snap was a little bit high and he didn't get the kind of hold that he wanted, and it threw his timing off. The clock with 11 seconds. The Wolverines do have a timeout.
I still go deep in the end zone. Give it a try. I'd like to see him go tonight into the end zone.
Incomplete. Clock is stopped with 7 seconds, and now they will have to bring the field goal team, and it will be Delverne, I believe, trotting out to attempt his second field goal here.
The only thing they could do is try to get it to the middle of the field with a quarterback sneak and then take their last time out. I saw them practice this, but 7 seconds to go. A bit of confusion here. Now they're going to go for the field. It's 4th down.
How sloppy has this game been, folks? Well, today there are more turnovers right now than points. 4-3. And now Barry says, how about a little ice? And a timeout has been called by the Badgers. Well, Wednesday, Program reminder, Drew Carey's done some pretty wild things, but nothing compares to the season premiere of the Drew Carey Show. That'll be coming your way Wednesday on ABC. As far as offense is concerned, Michigan with 219 yards but no points. Wisconsin with 114 and 1 field goal. Bollinger for the Badgers has been 3 of 8. Henson for the Wolverines 7 of 14. The running back duel, Bennett for 57 yards, Thomas for 65 yards, and now the 33-yard attempt to tie it up here at the intermission. Just did slip it inside. We're deadlocked at 3.
During the whole timeout that Wisconsin called, Brent, Delverne took advantage of it and worked on the field. He patted it down and made sure he had a good surface to see. And let's see if he plants that left foot and there's any slip. Perfect, good hold, and he sneaks it inside the right side.
Should stay out, pat down more of the
That's
field.
right.
Not much you can tell a kicker at the intermission, is there?
That's right. In the pat business right there. You know, last year Michigan had the 2 quarterbacks. This year they got 2 kickers. I think that's a huge last drive for Michigan, though. It got David Terrell back in the game, tied it up, and now Michigan goes in at halftime, said we got a bad break on the fumble. We're in this football game. Let's play a half. Right now, halftime, Barry goes in and says, we're just as good as these guys. These 100,000 fans don't mean nothing. It's us 11 on the field.
More than 107,000 on hand for a Big Ten showdown between Michigan and Wisconsin. Epstein kicks it along the ground as the final seconds run down, and the first half comes to an end. A field goal apiece. Michigan unbeaten in the conference. Alvarez and the Badgers with a loss already. And coming up next, halftime 2000 with Mike Tirico and Terry Bowden. Danielson and Jack Arute. I'm Brent Musburger. We're ready to start the second half. And Gary, you think that Henson really showed us something late?
He did. He showed us his arm strength getting downfield. But although Henson's thrown for 130 plus yards, 2 of those receptions accounted for 78 of the yards, 12 for 54. So Wisconsin's been doing a good job on that pass offense.
It was a battle of turnovers in the first half, if you will. Take a look at the first series of the game. Howard picking Bollinger in the end zone. Then Henson hit from the blind side, coughs it up, gives it up here, and then on a pass off the end around, Evans is intercepted.
And I think the story of the first half also has been Fletcher and his blanketing of Terrell. He had that one catch, but with Fletcher back in the lineup, Wisconsin has their real defense on the field.
Michigan will get the ball to start the second half. Here is Fargas. He'll let this one go out of the end zone, and it'll come out on the 20-yard line. Now, a little bit earlier, Jack Arute caught up with Wisconsin coach Barry Alvarez.
So, Coach, what did you tell him at halftime?
Well, number one, we had a rhythm to start with on offense, and we lost that rhythm. We're stopping ourselves. We need just to get our poise back on offense. I think we're doing a good job on defense, but we can do a little bit better.
Coach, what about the condition of the turf here?
It's very slick. A little bit, I thought it'd be a fast turf, but it's slick.
Do you make any changes?
We made some adjustments.
And with that, Thomas. And we take a look at our Morgan Stanley Dean Witter first half stats here.
3-3 game, you usually point to turnovers, and that's exactly what happened. 2 turnovers for each side. Wisconsin marched down early. The only thing I question about Barry saying we had it going early, Brent, remember that first drive of Wisconsin. 3 times they converted 3rd and long. Really, the Wisconsin offense hasn't done much in this football game.
2nd and 9 for Henson and the Wolverines. Incomplete. And we check in with Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, you would think with this turf, the way it's cutting up, that maybe the teams would change their cleats. They didn't, but Drew Henson has added a small rubber cleat. It's about a ½ inch deep. But according to the trainer, he only did that to get a little better footing. He still doesn't like the long cleats.
Well, I understand that, but that's his plant foot when he throws, his right foot. And I'm not surprised he went to something on that foot. It looks to me like he hasn't been able to push off great.
3rd and 9. And Henson throws to the underneath man, Marquise Walker. Great coverage by Mike Eccles, the other corner. And he'll come pitch it, this fellow will, and he's doing a good job. And the Wolverines are forced to punt.
Brent, Eccles got to do the play because of this guy covering this guy. That's Fletcher against Terrell. Watch the coverage. Henson wanted to go to Terrell. There's the coverage, and that allows Eccles to come up and make the play.
Epstein. And the Badgers are going to get some field position. This one's out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Well, what about Michael Bennett so far, Gary?
The game plan for Michigan, no big plays. Look at, they've tried him left, 19 yards. Up the middle, okay. Right, nothing. No big plays. Michigan's defense, mission accomplished.
That punt was only 32 yards, so we'll see what sort of adjustments Alvarez and the Badgers come up with. Brian White, the Wisconsin offensive coordinator. Bennett averaging a little over 4 yards a carry, but underneath his season average. And to the middle of that defense for a couple of yards, Victor Hobson, who's been very active defensively for the Wolverines.
Well, it was really tough. I mean, there's no way Michael Bennett is going to keep up the pace he was on against Oregon, Brent. In the second half, Michael Bennett had 217 yards on 3 carries. 3 plays, 59 yards, 75 yards, and 83 yards. You don't run plays like that against the Michigan defense.
With that option look, here's Bennett trying to sprint outside. He was slipping all the way and could not get away from Julius Curry, the strong safety.
Barry Alvarez said we got off well. I think Wisconsin kind of thought they did, but look at this. Interception, they got the field goal, but only went 4 plays and 2 yards on the field goal play, 2 yards on their scoring play. After that, it's been a bunch of nothing for this Wisconsin offense.
Right now they need 8 yards to keep the drive going for Barry. Bollinger on a blitz, steps away from it and takes off. First down, Brooks Bollinger to the 36-yard line as he felt the pressure from Jeremy Lasur that time, stepped away from it, and a 19-yard gain.
This has been the offense so far in this football game. Bollinger goes back, no one to throw to, great coverage in the secondary. Lasur comes in, kind of slips again on his blitz, and up comes Bollinger right up the gut, and that was the highlight we showed, and that's been the offense.
This is the opportunity that the Badgers have been waiting for right here, Gary. They're down in Michigan territory at the 36-yard line after that short punt. They'll try Bennett. Got an alley. Now that was a big-time run. Not a lot of yards, but Bennett coming over, saw the hole open, and took it back upfield.
And Stan Parrish did a good time. This time the Wisconsin offense did a good job of picking on the freshman. Watch it come out and kick out on the freshman for Michigan. That's Kashima. And Brian White, the offensive coordinator, says, all right, you're going to play a freshman? We're going to run right at your freshman and see if we can pick up some yards.
2nd and 3 for the Badgers. So they adjust the offensive blocking against the right defensive end. Fumble! Bennett put it down. Our 5th turnover of the game. And the Wolverines say, thank you very much. Nothing hurts worse.
Every Big Ten coach will tell you it's so tough to beat Wisconsin because they don't beat themselves. Today, they're beating themselves.
Petrozello recovers the fumble. Timeout.
On ABC.
No one leaving the big house. We're deadlocked at 3. Drew Henson ready to go again. You know the story. He broke a bone in his right foot this fall. 5th metatarsal, underwent a 90-minute operation. Screw inserted in that right foot. Here he is now with his first start. Game deadlock. Beautiful play fake. Waits, got Marquise Walker. Yes! First down at the Badgers' 48-yard line. A beauty by Henson.
Great matchup this time for Michigan. Wisconsin loves to keep their corner to the short side. You have a strong safety on Walker, number 8. You see him, Bose, right there. Nice throw, and there's that arm again. Don't lob it, but you got an arm like Henson. Scored right there, and Walker makes the big catch.
23 more yards. Henson 9 of 17 for 159. Starts the motion with Bellamy. Bringing Bellamy on the end around. The Badgers in a foot race, and Bellamy got the corner. Out of bounds. Inside the 35-yard line. Another Wolverine first down. And that Bellamy can flat fly. 15 more yards.
3 great receivers on this team. Terrell, Walker, and Bellamy. And you're right, the speed of this guy, probably the fastest receiver. Same play they ran earlier to burn this Wisconsin defense. And linebacker Roger Knight, number 19, says, we don't have any guys like this on receiver that I have been chasing.
Thomas. A yard, but not much. Greisen, the linebacker there.
Very, very tough to run those isolation plays, even if you're going behind 2 great offensive linemen. This Wisconsin defense has made a name for themselves over the last 6, 8, 10 years of stopping the inside run play.
Bellamy back in. Slot to Henson's right. Terrell outside. Marquise Walker to the short side. Marquise on a flanker screen. Reaches out for the first down. Had it. And he extended almost to the 20-yard line. There's another first down, Gary.
I really like offensive coordinators, and Stan Parrish is doing that now. He's recycling plays that have been successful to him in the first half. At halftime, he said, you know what? The flanker screen worked. Let's go back to that. The reverse worked. Let's go back to that. And when you recycle your good plays, you have a good chance because people feel good about it.
And here's the freshman phenom in a running back now. Here's Perry. He's got a burst. On the draw. And the Badgers were ready. They saw number 23 in the game, and they jumped it.
All right, let's take a look at where Anthony Thomas has run the ball. Uh-oh, my liberal offense here to the left. A big 0 behind their 2 all Big Ten linemen over here to the left side. Right up the gut has been the place where he's run the ball, but has not had a big play. The big plays have come off the reverse.
The Wolverines right at the beginning of the old red zone, folks. Second down and 10 from the 20-yard line, and some confusion with the Michigan offense. And the A-train, Thomas, dashes back out. Henson waits. Now wants Bellamy double-teamed, and interference, I believe, is going to be called. There's a penalty flag down. Might even be holding on it.
I think it'll be holding before the ball was thrown. There was nowhere to go with the ball. Same play Michigan runs. The slot guy runs the flag. The outside guy, Terrell, this time runs the smash route. Nowhere to go with the ball. Here's going to smash, come out 5 yards, go to the corner with the inside slot guy. But you'll see inside when the holding all the way on the receiver. Nowhere to go with the football. Henson just lays it up to the outside and tries to get rid of the ball. Coming inside, you see it, that's Devery Hughes, a strong safety. I think that's holding him with a gray glove.
No question. So defensive holding, of course, will give them a first down. The Wolverines' drive continues, and it all began following a Bennett fumble, remember.
Henson has had the ball inside the 30-yard line on drives twice and turned it over twice. Michigan's turn now.
First down and goal. Play fake. Henson throws it away. And again, Fletcher was right there on number 1.
It's great to watch great players do their craft out here. Fletcher on Terrell. He likes to sit off. He likes to catch. You know who he kind of reminds me of in this catch situation? A guy who kind of invented this situation. Lem Barney with the Lions used to like to sit off the line of scrimmage, wait for the guy, and knew he had enough speed to turn it on when he had to. Like where Deion Sanders would like to get up in the jock and be a bump and run guy. Fletch likes to sit off.
There's the draw with the A-train. 3 yards on that play. So here comes a big third down here for the Wolverines, Gary. You wonder if you wouldn't have Terrell run Fletcher off and go the other way down here.
Well, they tried that once with the bootleg, and Wisconsin did a good job of handling it. What I remember Michigan doing well before is throwing the slant play. Let's see if they can stick an inside throw in there and just stick it in and make it go. Wisconsin in a blitz look here.
Seymour, the tight end, is to the left. Askew, a good receiver, offset to the left. Henson's looking short side and in trouble. Takes a sack. At the 16-yard line, Wendell Bryant, the big timer from St. Louis, makes a huge play for the Badgers.
That was a coverage sack this time. They were not going to David Terrell. He did run the slant, but Fletcher was ready. But Drew Henson never looked right. He came out all the way to the left side of the formation, and David Terrell gets a little earful from Fletcher.
So here is Delverne for his third attempt of the day. It's a 33-yarder. He has made one from here at the end of the first half, and now for the first time Delverne puts Michigan ahead with his second 33-yarder of the game. 6-3 Wolverines.
Brent, the mistake was made early. The quarterback needs to look out here, see 2-on-2 with no free safety to this side of the football field, and stay to the right side. Drew Henson doesn't go through his reads, goes back left to his tight end, right into the teeth of the coverage, forces a sack. All that film work, there's more to it, isn't it? There's always more to it. That's why David Terrell was so upset. He was right. The ball should have come to him.
Epstein kicks it off. Faulkner thought Davis was going to take it, got a lucky bounce on the delay, and Faulkner makes it to the 24-yard line. How about that one? Now, the Badgers have been their own worst enemy, and this is not Barry Alvarez type football. On their first series of the game, Todd Howard with the interception of Bollinger. First series, second half. Bennett fumbles. Petrozello recovers. The Wolverines drive down to kick a second field goal.
Brent, I would call both of those mistakes unforced errors. I thought that was just decent defense by Michigan. Should have been a tackle. Should have been an incomplete pass.
Behind for the first time today, Bennett. The 30-yard line, picks up 5. Brocken's the stop for the Wolverines. And for Bennett today, 18 carries for 72 yards.
Brent, Michigan is so fundamentally sound on defense. Even though they don't have great NFL players up front, they follow their keys, they spin out of blocks, and their safeties play so safe. They got 2 of them back there, not one guy, and these safeties will stay back here and say, Bennett, you got to beat us both. That's why Wisconsin's going to use a run-back formations.
There's Bennett. Short of the first down. Well, a reminder, we got a Monday nighter coming your way at 9 Eastern time, and we'll ask my partner about this one. Seattle and Kansas City. How about the one-time Michigan quarterback Elvis Grbac, what he did last week out Mile High. So at home, the Chiefs. They could be tough. What do you think here?
I love those red pants. Boy, I pick one Minnesota game, and you want to know what I like on it.
Oh, I got you, man.
You're right.
Harry the Greek.
You're right.
Give me that 800 number.
Last time on 3rd down and short, Wisconsin threw. They need to run the ball. That's what they do best.
3rd and 2. They set Coons in front of Bennett. Picks his way and got it, I believe. 1st down, Wisconsin.
Ball carried by Michael Bennett.
You know, the one thing about Bennett that impresses me as I watch him, when you think of a track man, folks, you think of a sleek runner. I'm going to tell you, he's not scared of putting his head in there and his shoulders and driving, shaking off a tackler.
I think that was the worry that everybody had who followed Badger football and said, oh, yeah, they heard all these great things about Bennett. Was he tough enough? Is he tough enough to play Big Ten football? Yes.
Anthony Jordan is still in there, a linebacker instead of foot for the Wolverines. And what a nice play that was by Jordan that time. Number 28. Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, that last drive for the field goal was at an expense. Anthony Thomas will have to pick his game up and not get as much rest as he had in the first half. Why? Chris Perry has been taken to the locker room. They suspect a hip injury.
That's a painful bruise, I'll tell you. That could keep that young man out for a bit. What a shame. 2nd down and 12 now for the Badgers. They need a play. Hayes will be off to the right. Chambers the slot to Bollinger's left. That put Chambers in motion. Bollinger will try to get something going. Looking for it. Deflected. Incomplete. It was deflected by Rumashek. Big Dan Rumashek with a paw on it.
Rumashek is playing in Jake Freisinger's position at defensive end. Bootleg action, trying to slide Chambers underneath the coverage right there. Getting under, and there's a big run. His big hand on it. Chambers only 1 catch. A year ago had 9 catches. He had the big drop, but he had 9 catches in this football game.
3rd down. Still needing 12. Nickel package for the Wolverines defensively. Bollinger on the roll. Won't get the 1st down. Out of bounds. Badgers forced a punt. A good defensive stand, and I'm going to tell you, one of the best defensive coordinators in football is Jimmy Herman right here in Ann Arbor.
When you think of Michigan's defense, you don't think about stars. Charles Woodson is the guy that first comes to mind. But when I think about Michigan defense, I think about 11 guys to the ball. That has been the tradition here, and you can see it on the field today.
Stemke, who has punted brilliantly so far. Bellamy just wants a shot. Look at this leg. Into the end zone. A 65-yard punt for Stemke that time. Timeout. Wolverines lead it 6-3. There is Justin Fargas, who has been switched from the offense to the defense. And if you get a good look at him without the helmet, you think it's Jason Kidd, the point guard for the Dream Team down there.
I don't know if we should use that Dream Team.
Here's Anthony Thomas. No, the Lithuanians almost.
How about the Sleepwalk Team? Is that better?
Almost came up a cropper, didn't they, down in Australia? But you wanted to make a point about Fargas moving over to the defense.
He did. He moved over to defense. I think he's going to be a great one. But losing Chris Perry now, you're down to your 4th string guy backing up Anthony Thomas. But Thomas, Brent, is used to it. Went all last year being the only guy.
2nd down. Wolverines need 8. Thomas won't get it. Stuffed. And a reminder that college football on ABC is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, get it, be moved. Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, move your money, get well connected. Chili's, I want my Chili's baby back ribs only at Chili's. And FedEx, FedEx, be absolutely sure.
He's got a future at that. Wendell Brent, in this football game last week only had 1 tackle, but that's a little different offense that Northwestern runs. They get it in and out of their hands fast. Bryant has been much better, more of an impact player today.
3rd down. Badgers want to stop to get the ball back. Henson from the shotgun, under pressure, hit, Deflected air, incomplete.
Great job by Anthony Thomas that time. Tremendous presence of knowing that ball was up for grabs, and he knocked it down. Henson, again, just off in his reads. Has not played a lot of football in his career. Now he does not see the blitz in time. There you see it, free guy coming, throws it right in the helmet of a defensive lineman that time. And Anthony Thomas does a great job of saving this from no interception.
Here's Epstein.
Well, the punting's been good. Defense has been good.
Fargas is one of the gunners. Down at the 25-yard line. Williams along with Fargas, and Williams gets it done for him. Well, a reminder, we've still got more college football action coming your way. In the Midwest, you're going to be seeing Drew Brees and the Purdue Boilermakers take on Penn State. Other regional action, Kansas State, Colorado, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Washington, Oregon, all part of our college football doubleheader here. The Badgers are just one big play away, but it isn't easy right now against his Wolverine defense. Here comes Bennett. Loose football.
I think this time the Badgers got it back, fortunately for them.
You know what was interesting is they sprinted Coons, the fullback, out to the short side and had him come back as a crackback blocker to try and open the way for Bennett that time.
It's one of the base plays in this offense. Not a lot of teams run it. The fullback comes out, and then the center, Al Johnson, is the guy number 72, who Bennett follows around the end. But boy, this is that time nice hit by Julius Curry and popped that ball loose.
Lucky to get it back.
Yep.
Second and 10. Chambers is in motion. Bollinger looks underneath, complete to the 35-yard line with Whitley in pursuit that time. Let's get an update from New York. Here's Mike Tirico.
All right, Brent, the Burger King update. This game is so good defensively. I want to remind everyone what a touchdown looks like. Bruce Thornton for Georgia, 21 yards out. Arkansas hasn't lost at home in the Houston Nutt era. They're going to have to do a lot in the next 90 minutes to keep that alive. It's 24-0 at the break. Bulldogs on top. Brent?
We take care of the sarcasm out here, Mike. They're going to settle back and have another soda pop and some popcorn.
Save it for Thursday night, right?
Yep. Third down, Bollinger. First down, Badgers. Check in with Jack Aru. Jack.
Well, Brent, when Brooks Bollinger was back in his North Dakota home, it seemed that Central Valley High lost their starting quarterback. Brooks was only 14 years old and in junior high school. He was so good and so well renowned, the high school coach sent a school bus to Brooks' junior high, loaded him up after school, carted him to varsity practice, and he started the varsity at 14.
There were only 23 people in the state at that time playing football.
You get all the mail from North Dakota, my friend. I'll tell you.
Are we on there?
Here's a fake. Bollinger going down the middle, looking for the big play. Interference?
No.
I don't see anything. Hayes went down. Howard, the defender. Flag coming down.
A pair of threes was it on that play, but Lee Evans, I think, slowed down and misjudged it on the play. Evans, number 3, play action pass. Nice fake to the outside now, kind of a half fake. Now watch, he kind of cruises right here. And then he says, oh, wow, this thing's long enough for me to get. Incidental contact, I don't know. But I thought Evans could have turned it on and created some space.
Second and 10, there was daylight that time.
Yep.
Davis will come to the slot and Hayes outside of him. Bollinger slips. Fires, got Hayes, his defender slipped. Got it inside the 30, out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds, no touchdown. He's out at the 29-yard line. It was Lee Evans for 25 yards as the corner that time slips.
Wisconsin has said we have to throw the football. We have to go down the field. Another one of those play action passes. This time it's a sprint. Bollinger almost falls down and it kind of just throws it up for grabs. Gets hit, and there you see it. One guy falls down, and they're very close. Well, you get a turf mark. It's like tennis. You get one of those marks left on the ground to see if you're out of bounds.
Badgers threatening again. Inside the Wolverine 30. Here comes Bennett. Shakes a tackle. Runs hard inside the 20. That may have been his best run of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. That was a football player with that run and not a track man trying football.
How much better is this guy going to get as he matures into being a Big Ten running back? It wasn't his longest carry of the day, but he showed his teammates that he's willing to pay the price. He laid it down twice so far in the game here in the second half, but on that one, he took it upfield and gained 9 yards.
Here's second down and 1. He is the best track man slash running back in the Big Ten since Tyrone Wheatley right here at Michigan. First down, Bollinger on the carry. You remember the days of Tyrone Wheatley. He was a great hurdler and a sprinter in high school, turned his attention to hurdling. And here he is as a running back. Kind of a checkered career in the NFL. Struggled a bit with the Giants, but had some success with the Oakland Raiders last year. Moving back to grass may have helped him, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. He always said he liked running on the grass.
So we come to the end of quarter number 3. Michigan leads Wisconsin 6-3. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. They're not always wrong, folks. Hayes, foot right there on the line, and take a look at the zebra right here. Can't hardly miss it. You know, we point out their errors, so we should also point out when they make good calls.
You know, Brent, back when I played, we used to wear the black shoes, and all the guys would argue, Coach, I want to tape them white just in case I step on the line. They won't be able to see it.
First down for the Badgers inside the Wolverine 20-yard line. Badgers got an open man, the fullback. He went to Chad Coons as a receiver. Inside the 10-yard line, Hatman. The 4th largest crowd to ever watch a game here at Michigan Stadium on a simply perfect Saturday afternoon. It is a day to kill for. Michigan leading Wisconsin 6-3, but the Badgers now, they are knocking on the Wolverines' door. Comes Mr. Bennett. Trying to get a first down for the Badgers, and I believe a penalty flag came flying. Yep.
Well, it was the tight end that time. Kind of a little extracurricular. I think it was Sigmund. I looked like both guys were doing it. I hope they call them both.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the offense. Dead ball. Foul defense.
There you are.
That was offside.
There we go. That's fair.
Yep.
Hey, both guys a little bit extracurricular. The referees are going to let them know they're not going to take that, and they're going to call it.
A little short of that first down. Here's a 3rd down and 1 coming up. Now Bollinger can be a nifty runner. We've seen him with the quarterback draw.
Scouting report on Michigan's defense is when you get inside the 20-yard line, they will blitz. Both on 1st and 2nd down, they have blitzed both times.
By that much.
I run that quarterback sneak 2 more times.
You'd beat up that little fella from Grand Forks,
Exactly.
North Dakota.
I go over that little guy. I got to figure Bollinger knows him any. They're the same neighborhood.
This used to be automatic, folks, in Badgerland. Where is Mr. Dane these days?
Well, last year in the second half against Michigan, he gained 0 yards.
Yeah, that was hard to believe. Do you know that in his career, Michigan, the only team in the Big Ten,
right,
Ron Dane never gained 100 yards against. And right now, when we think of Michael Bennett, he's got 84. So he has a little work to do before he gets that 100, too. But he's trying to accomplish something that Ron Dane never did. Now Bollinger is checking over there to make sure that everything is set. Howard is trying to bring the crowd into it for the defense. 3rd down, trailing by 3. And there's Gary's quarterback sneak for the first down. Well, our thanks go to the folks at Goodyear for these beautiful overhead shots today. 1925, when Goodyear first began coverage at major sporting events.
That's about the best recruiting advertisement you can have for Michigan football right there, isn't it? You see kids across the country looking at that and say they're dialing right now. 1-800, I want to come to Michigan.
Yep, one of the great ones. First down and goal. Here's Bennett inside the 5-yard line. Julius Curry, the aggressive, strong safety. Now it will be second down for Alvarez and the Badgers.
Don't think you're going to just carve it right into the end zone against Michigan's front seven. They might not have any All-Americans there, but they play close to the line of scrimmage. Think you're going to have to get outside.
The lone running back is Bennett. He's got it on a slant, stuffed. Terrific defense that time, and folks, let me point out that Eric Bracken's number 51, no tackle, but he blew the play up. He absolutely would not yield on the outside.
You have a good eye, sir, because I was just ready to show Bracken's take on the block of the pulling guy. Bracken's right here. Watch what good defense allows people to make tackles. Bracken's reads it. This is a slant. I've watched it all week. I'm coming up, hit that lineman in the mouth. That's what he does, and stuffs the play.
Now, if the Wolverines hold the Badgers here, you would think that Barry would go for the tie, but we shall see. He is on the road. Ollinger to throw to Coons. Dives. Got it. Touchdown. Wisconsin regains the lead on the third down pass to Chad Coons, the fullback.
Michigan slipped out their fullback for a big play. Wisconsin has been running this play for 10 years in this offense. Slip out your lead back. It's going to be right here coming in motion. You slip him out. The tight end comes to the corner. It's goal line offense. First play you put in the play action. Slip it out. Get outside. And nice job outside that time by Sigmund to kind of peel back and pick off the lineman.
Pisetsky. Extra point. And the Badgers lead it by 4 points. And so now, with the fourth quarter, 12:10 to go. And this is what number 7 is supposed to be all about. We'll check out Henson again coming up. 12 minutes and 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Wisconsin leading by 4 points. And Vitaly Pisetsky with the ball on the tee. Cross back deep along with Fargas for the Wolverines. This is Fargas from the 2 to the 21-yard line. And you know, we've had a great duel all game long, and we're about to see more of it, Gary.
Yeah, Fletcher against Terrell. Terrell, such great confidence, squats on plays, looks at the quarterback and trusts his speed and instincts to make plays. And he's been the difference in this defense. Remember, the Badgers didn't have him a week ago, and it upset their defense. He had 3 huge picks against Oregon in their win.
Henson on the day has completed 50%. He's 10 of 20, 171 yards. Here comes that end around. They put it in Terrell's hands a different way. And Fletcher is still there to slow him up.
That's amazing. That is a great play by a heads-up football player. He ran that thing down. Up here, it looked like Terrell had a lot of room. He had Henson in front of him, and all of a sudden, number 2 says, I got you man-to-man. That's my job. Give me those feet.
Amazing. Amazing corner. Second down and 10. Now it's Bellamy and Walker off to the wide side of the field for Henson and the Wolverines, and they motion Thomas out to go empty. He wants Thomas sideline incomplete. Now Northwestern was upsetting Michigan State. Let's go back to Mike in New York and to find out the latest. Mike.
Well, Brent, you and Gary were talking about Fletcher not playing against Northwestern. Northwestern scored 47. Look what they're doing up in Lansing. This is Damian Anderson, a 41-yard touchdown. They put up 30 on the Spartans and lead 30-10 late third quarter in East Lansing.
How about them Wildcats?
They're 2 wins away from a bowl game now.
3rd and 10. Movement and a penalty flag flying. Free play Michigan. Terrell, and they'll take the play. A first down at the 41-yard line. Wisconsin appeared to jump offside.
First time that Michigan has tried to bring Terrell on the square end. Right across the middle of the zone on 3rd and long.
Offside. Defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Coming right here, coming right across the defense. Zone defense this time. Fletcher just comes inside. A bit of combo defense, really, and a mix-up by the Wisconsin defense. Combo meaning 3 guys covering 2 receivers.
It's a 21-yard gain. Split backs. Thomas tried to pick off the attackers. Couldn't get both of them as Favre closes in on Henson. And that is the 3rd Badger sack of this game. Favre is a good football player.
Tight end trying to go down the middle, and the safety right here does a good job of reading this play and taking the throw away from Drew Henson. Wants to go to the tight end, wants to go left, neither one of them open, and there's that pass rush. Favre and the boys cleaning up.
Now shotgun. 2nd and 16. Fumble on the snap. Hit on the release. And it's Walker. Walker just short of midfield. And the Wolverines are back where they can run or throw on 3rd down. How about that save?
That was like a third baseman picking up a bunt and getting rid of that thing because that's what he plays. Those were great quick hands and a perfect throw. Drops the snap. And it picks it up as he's getting hit. Whoop, drops it. Picks it up and lets go of it. Oh, that's quick thinking. That's that. Brandon, you gave this kind of beyond the numbers, those instincts, those athletic instincts that really took over for Henson on that one. Didn't panic at all.
3rd down and 3. Henson lined up in the shotgun. And Henson was trying to stop the clock.
Right. No, 3 times in a row he gave the leg to the center.
From the snap, delay of game. Offense, 5 yards. The down remains 3rd.
The center that time, David Brandt, wasn't looking. They were using the silent count. Tried to give the foot. Come on, look at the foot, and then it's too late to call timeout.
The clock had expired.
You know, one of the toughest 25-second clocks in the Big Ten is here in this stadium. They're way up in the air on the scoreboard. They're not in your peripheral vision. You have to look directly at it. Look at that, way up here, way down, and the quarterback has to really look up for it.
3rd and 8, here comes the blitz. They showed it all the way, and they still can't get there. High, Terrell with a great grab. That vertical leap pulled it down. First down, Wolverines.
That was a improvised route by David Terrell. He wanted to go hitch and go. Fletcher stayed with the coverage, and he had to break it up. All-out blitz, and look at the great protection. There's our 2 big guys, Hutchinson and Backus right there. That's beautiful. Now watch the route out here to the top. Hitch and go. It's not there, so he stops, comes out of it, and Henson finds it. Beautiful.
Terrell 4 catches, 81 yards. Walker 6 for 113 yards. 1st and 10. Here comes the train behind Askew. Crosses the 35-yard line, and we go down below to Jackaroo. Jack?
Greg, it wouldn't surprise me if David Terrell and Drew Henson practiced that pass this summer in New York City in Central Park. Seems Terrell went up to visit Henson after Henson was traded from the New York Yankees. They decided to go out and toss the ball around in Central Park. Did anybody notice this Wolverine combo? According to Henson, he says if you're not Mike Piazza in New York, no one cares.
That's right. You do the hitch and go on the muggers there. Oh no, that's all cleaned up, right?
Second down. Wolverines need about 8 yards. They need to get across the 26-yard line. Great protection again. Puts it into Walker's hands, and Walker is across the 20-yard line. Marquise Walker from Syracuse, 7 catches now for 129 yards. So while number 2 concentrates on Terrell, it has been Walker who's been getting free.
Right to the outside over here. The safety blitz falls down, slips on the play. He had a clear path coming in. Slips on the play. There it is right there. See him fall down? That's what allowed Henson to come back out and make that play and throw to the outside. Great drive, and they're doing it on Henson's arm.
Draw with the A-train. Fumble! Down. The umpire says down. You know, the Wolverines were saved last week down in Champaign. Watch and see if there wasn't a face mask early. The coaches here at Michigan were very concerned that this was not called. There's no question that he's losing control of the ball right there. And now again he puts it down late, and Lloyd Carr and the Wolverines are saved. Suck it down, and 8. Henson to throwing. Looking for someone to get free. Cross, dangerous, real dangerous. Michigan, Terrell goes up, jump ball, and pulls it down. Oh, there's no more dangerous play for a quarterback than throwing back to the middle. And number 1 said, let's play a little basketball.
When they work, they love you. And when they don't work, they say, what are you doing? You saw Lloyd give it a little wink to his quarterback and say, make me a play. Nothing's open here. Henson drops back, nothing there, good defense. Now he's just going to let it go. Nice adjustment by Terrell, but look at this. A pop-up for a touchdown.
And the extra point is good. A penalty flag, however, is down. There is a penalty flag on this extra point attempt. Going to be against the Badgers.
Kick, illegal substitution on the defense. The penalty is declined. The kick is good.
Coming right at you here this time. Henson gets flushed out right, and he looks for number 1. He said we did it in Central Park. As Jack said, can we do it in the big house? Lets it go. Don't do this. Don't do this. Pop up. Do this. I like this. Terrell just jumps up, says, give me that rebound.
Took it right away from Bellamy.
He did.
Watch Bellamy on the inside, number 19. There are 2 Michigan receivers right here.
Nice adjustment by Terrell. Says, I'm going to go away from the flow, and that allowed the play.
And with that, the Wolverines lead it. Timeout. Michigan ahead by a field goal. 6:42 to go. And the ball on the tee for Epstein. Short. Davis. Down at the 22-yard line. Well, at the conclusion of the game, we'll select the Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Drew Henson in this game is 15 of 26, 257 yards, 1 touchdown, and no picks.
That was an impressive drive, but he got away with the throw there at the end of that drive.
Oh, I'd say. Won't be doing that on Sunday anytime soon.
Be doing that on Saturday.
It's true. Now Bollinger on the slant. Got it. And close to a first down, Chris Chambers, number 88.
Wisconsin, I still think, though, even though that was a nice drive, there was a lot of plays made there outside the offense, feels good about themselves. They look up and say, hey, we're in this game.
I'd like to ask Coach Alvarez, what about a third consecutive OT?
No, I don't think they like that.
They're down only 3, though, and they've got a good look.
Oh, yeah. They'd like to be there, but I think you have to try this thing and stick it in.
Here's Bennett. Slices, cuts back, and down at the 36-yard line. Michael Bennett now with 27 carries for 91 yards. He's within 9 yards of doing something that Ron Dayne never did, and that's gain 100 against the Michigan defense.
Last year, Ron Dayne carried the ball 22 times for 88 yards. All 88 came in the first half.
2nd and 5.
Deep safeties. Look at that. They're not gambling.
Bennett got an alley. Get turned upfield to the 46-yard line. And Michael Bennett puts his name up there as accomplishing something that Ron Dayne never did. That's 109 yards against the Wolverine defense.
Stretch play, center pulls. He follows Al Johnson, number 72, and gets around the Michigan defense. You can see Bennett does not have that explosive start because of the field. He just can't get it into that next gear. Change the tires or the surface.
The Wolverine 46 play fake. Bollinger rolls hard left. Threw it away.
Good defense.
2nd and 10. Well, a reminder that Monday night ABC Sports will bring you that AFC Western Division matchup in Kansas City. It is Seattle against the Chiefs. Elvis Gerback, the former Wolverine star, will be at the controls for the Chiefs, who won a big one last week on the road against Gus Frerotte and the Denver Broncos. How about the Lions tomorrow? I know you kind of follow them pretty closely against Minnesota. What about that one?
I'm doing the John Cooper renegotiation lock here. You get a new contract in Michigan, you come here, you lose. Remember when John came here?
Gary likes the Lions, folks. Here's Bennett again. Daylight to the 31-yard line. And like a lot of good running backs that we've seen through the years, he seems to be getting stronger as the game wears on.
Now you've got this Michigan defense, if you're Brian White and Barry Alvarez for Wisconsin, saying we're on the 30-yard line. They're going to start blitzing. Now you get a big play. Michael Bennett going around the end. Same play to the right that they ran to the left. Brian White is recycling successful plays.
That was a 15-yard gain for Bennett. Gives him 123 yards on the day.
Deep safeties by Michigan. They still don't believe.
Nothing doing on that. His 30th carry of the game. Hey, Mike, what are the Texas Longhorns doing?
Well, Brett, Major Applewhite and Texas in a little trouble. It looked like Oklahoma State was going to force a punt, get good field position, but the Major unloads 96 yards to Roy Williams on the day they retired Ricky Williams' jersey. They've scored a couple more times since, and Texas is pulling away. They lead Oklahoma State by 19 just starting the fourth quarter. Brent and Gary.
All right, just give the job, huh, to Major?
I think he earned it. You don't have to give it to him.
2nd and 10. Coons comes out again from the fullback slot. Bollinger rolls hard looking for a crease, and Michigan would not give it to him. Dave Petrozello, 96, with a fine defensive play.
Brent, also Dan Rumashek that time, the defensive end, read his keys and took away the pitch man. He's got his hand on the ground, but he remembered what Coach Herman told him. Option play, you got the pitch, and he made Bollinger turn it up.
So we've got 3:45 remaining. You can see the timeouts. Wisconsin, they've hit 8 of 13 thirds. And they've got a field goal kicker who's real dangerous coming down the inside if they stall out.
They're going to run the ball left here to try to center it out.
Here's third down, and there's timeout's going to be called. So one of the timeouts is going to be used right here. So we'll take a break, and the Badgers will decide. Timeout.
Let's look at that second down play. Here's Rumashek. I said he made the play. He's supposed to get hooked by this tackle. The quarterback is depending on that block. Here comes the option. Rumashek gets up across the face to Bollinger right there, and he has nothing to do with the play. You get this guy outside, there's nowhere to go, and there's the tackle. Perfect defense.
And now it's put him in a hole.
Absolutely. And remember that option play here in Ann Arbor 2 years ago? Dane and Samuels going the wrong way 3 times in that game. The option play hurts him on second down here.
The ball is at the Wolverines' 33-yard line. Bollinger, the middle opens, and he puts him back in field goal range inside the 25-yard line.
Very interesting call by the Michigan defensive coordinator, Jimmy Herman, along with Lloyd Carr. They said, let's lay off. If they pick up 5, 6, 7 yards, we'll live with a field goal attempt here. The worst we can do is a tie game, 13-13. Both sides, I think, said good there. Herman said good. Wisconsin said good. We got it in field goal range.
Now Pasetsky hit a 49-yarder in the first quarter. This one's for 42.
He hit a big one last week.
Here it comes now for the tie. Michigan is 2:42 away from a big win.
Good snap, decent snap. You could see it. His foot came outside the ball right then, and it was a big hook on it. Boy, is that tough to take when your kicker pulls one like that. Brent, remember on third down, Wisconsin burned a timeout. They only have 2 left now. That thing was going left all the way. Close, but left. Yep, lead them, lead it.
Train to the running back. The toss. Nothing doing. Kalaji. And college football on ABC Sports is brought to you by the rugged Montana from Pontiac, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team. Thrifty Car Rental, the car you want, the service you expect, all at a low rate, just what you want, just Thrifty. And Courtyard by Marriott, the hotel designed by business travelers. 2:34 left. Wisconsin used a timeout.
Michigan needs 1 first down to put this game away. They don't want to come back on the field of the defense because Wisconsin will come back next time with 4 downs to pick up first downs. There's Favre. He did a good job on that last play also, Brent, turning that play inside. The senior in that rush in position that's so famous at Wisconsin. Tarek Sala, Tom Burke played that spot, and now Favre.
The Badgers down to their last timeout.
Both teams defensively have played well in this game.
But Wisconsin has been plagued by 3 turnovers in this game.
Absolutely.
You can see Jim Herman
always got
in the defense just in case.
Always got to anticipate that the other team is going to make a stop and you're going to be back on defense.
Second down. And Henson going down for Terrell. No penalty flag. There was contact. Fletcher briefly had his hands on him but pulled him away, and no flag.
Fletcher that time felt just a bit out of control this time. He knew Terrell beat him inside, but watch how he doesn't panic. He doesn't grab him. He doesn't make the big mistake. He has enough presence not to get one of those silly penalties at the end.
A sort of grab.
Yeah, but sort of you get through. Sorters are okay. Sort of, that's hard out there. It's sort of hard.
Third down and 11.
Brilliant play, not making the big mistake.
Henson. He's going to run for it. Dive for it. Got it. First
blitz that time by Wisconsin, and instead of having a linebacker on Henson, they had Wendell Bryant, the big guy. I think that's him that backs off this time in the middle of the defense. No, it's the other side. There he is, right there, right in the middle. There's the big guy. Now, when he tries to run down Henson, the big guy is not going to be able to do it at 300 pounds, and Henson, instead of going against a DB, has to go against the zone look.
3rd and 11. Write it down. That's an MVP play. 13 yards, 2 minutes left, and a fresh set of downs for the Wolverines. Here's the A-train to the 39-yard line, and this is just the beginning. Penn State against Drew Brees and Purdue. What about the Boilermakers on the road coming up, Gary?
Well, if the Boilermakers can't win the Big Ten this year, when do they win it? They got a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback, Michigan and Ohio State coming to West Lafayette, and a down Penn State team this year.
And the other games, Kansas State, Colorado, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Washington, Oregon. Here in Ann Arbor, 1:50 remaining. Michigan leading at 13-10. We've got a timeout.
Brent, I tried to set up the game, but I think this is the story of the game. Wisconsin's offense did not get it in 3rd and short a lot. Brent Bollinger, 98 yards passing, 57 yards rushing, did not do that. And the Michigan defense did not give up any home runs to Bennett. He got him for 100 yards, but no big game-changing plays. Geez, I'm right. Come on. Hey. Like my wife, you know?
Here comes the A-train. Speaking of your wife, she gets an atta-girl this week. A little gallbladder surgery, and she goes up to watch her son, the backup quarterback at Northwestern today.
That's right. That's her boy. She's there.
Coach's daughter,
That's
right, Gary?
Coach's daughter went over there and settled into that Michigan State, tailgated even.
Well, time permitting, we'll have our post-game report brought to you by Thrifty with Mike and Terry Bob.
Let's remember that one timeout. I think strategy of both coaches have been excellent in this football game, but the one timeout that Wisconsin burned, and then they got that 3rd and long, has now cost them another chance to get the ball. Go out of bounds. Good job. Good job.
Thomas keeps that clock moving. Badgers out of timeouts. And the seconds tick away. And our Chevrolet players of the game. It was a great duel all day long.
Yep.
Jamar Fletcher had the upper hand for much of the day, but in the end, David Terrell came back and made a series of big plays on the winning touchdown drive, including the jump ball in the end zone for the game winner.
Yeah, he bailed out his quarterback on that one. There's no doubt he made the play. And Brent, I had a coach, Marty Schottenheimer, tell me that in a game, in the closing quarter, instead of thinking plays, think players. And that's exactly what Michigan did. They went to their players.
"17 seconds remain, and Michigan is about to become the first Division 1A team to well establish a record for wins."
Well, Epstein is going to get one more chance here.
There it is. Their first team back in 18.
1-0. Well, you know what? They should have gone for 2.
No. They missed the touchdown and kicked the extra point.
They should have gone for 2.
They were using Canadian.
You know, Brett, you're going to be the only guy that knows. What was the spread on that game? Did they cover?
It was a hook. They covered it.
We should also, I think today as this game ends, give a special salute to one of the great Big Ten coaches, a Michigan high school coach in this area, Pete Schmidt, who passed away this week.
I know you were very close to Pete. He died of cancer way too young at the age of 52.
He was the offensive coordinator at Indiana under Cam Cameron, coached here at Albion, and we'll miss him here in the Big Ten.
8 seconds.
Well, the only thing that's ever going to beat Michigan now with 8 seconds is if Cordell Stewart runs back on the field.
the Wolverines are 8 seconds away from a 2-0 start in the Big Ten.
And they've had 3 emotional football games in a row. UCLA, Illinois, and now Wisconsin. And next week they travel to West Lafayette and Drew Brees.
Bollinger intercepted. It's over. Howard on the deflection with his second interception of the game. Todd Howard intercepted a pass in the end zone on Wisconsin's opening series. And then he closes out the 13-10 victory with a little ricochet. Let's go down to Jack Arute. Down to Jack.
Well, Coach, congratulations. Is this Michigan tough football?
Well, there's no easy ones in the Big Ten. My hat's off to Wisconsin. They played a great football game, and it's a shame anybody's got to lose a game like this. But I'm proud of our kids. Our defense really was outstanding, and they carried us today.
Talk about the touchdown pass, Henson to Terrell. I didn't know Terrell was a basketball player.
Well, David wants the football. He just said, he wants the ball, and he was getting frustrated there. And Drew made a great play. That was just a great individual play on a part of Henson and Terrell.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, Jack.
So a very nice man with another big win. And like we said at the start of the day, when you go look at the coaching fraternity, the man who wins as many big games as anybody right now is Lloyd Carr right here at Michigan. One of the heroes, Terrell, headed off to the locker room. And our final score, Michigan 13, Wisconsin 10. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC College Football. The Thrifty Car Rental postgame report is coming up next with Mike and Terry. All the scores and highlights from around the country. So long, everybody.
Gina Davis, Time Daily. Next, all new Rosie.
The Thrifty Car Rental postgame report. The car you want, the service you expect, all at a low rate. Just what you want. Just Thrifty. From Times Square in New York, Mike Tirico and Terry Bowden.
And the action outside of Times Square Stadium and just down the street inside the ESPN zone where the Michigan fans had a chance to cheer a little bit louder this afternoon. The Wolverines with the 3-point victory. As we welcome you back inside Times Square Stadium, Mike Tirico in for our buddy John Saunders, who's under the weather, and everyone sends their best wishes to John. Get back here soon with Terry Bowden. Boy, Michigan fans have been biting off fingernails here week after week. The UCLA game 2 weeks ago. Illinois comes down to the last quarter last week, and again here today.
Well, they finally get a team that wants to play them exactly like they play football. Both teams want to run that football, play great defense. The difference today, though, I think, Drew Henson, he really gives them a lot of different looks. He can run, he can throw. 2 fumbles early, but he threw the big touchdown pass, and in the last drive, he scrambles for a critical first down.
Stan Parrish opened up the offense there. That one drive that led to the field goal in the third quarter. You saw a lot of what Michigan can do with its athletes, and then the drive at the end of the game. Talk about athletes. Where was this game won? It was won in David Terrell's house when Michigan recruited him. The athlete made the play at 6'3", and the Wolverines now are on a roll, 2-0 in the conference. As for Wisconsin, 0-2 in the conference. And when you talk about teams that go 0-2 in the Big Ten, we're not talking just the first 2 games. We're talking 2 losses the whole conference season. Only 4 have gone to the Rose Bowl. You have to go back to Iowa in 1990, and Wisconsin really has to be realistic. Chances of going to the Rose Bowl are almost non-existent at this point.
Well, Mike, you're right. But, Wisconsin has gotten to the Rose Bowl by winning close football games. When you're a running football team that depends on a running good defense, you expect to win close ball games. This year, they've lost a couple of close games. They lost in overtime, and they lost this one today in the fourth quarter. And that's the way it falls sometimes. So, Wisconsin, there's no way they're going to get back this year.
Well, some people were upset in Wisconsin about the loss to Northwestern. Had Northwestern put up that many points, well, maybe we look at that game in a different light right now. Watch what Northwestern's been doing up in East Lansing against Michigan State today. They have dominated them offensively. Zach Kustok, that quarterback who can roll out, smart decisions, good throws like that. 39 yards to Teddy Johnson, Northwestern 10-3, but T.J. Duckett answers for Michigan State, sticks it in the end zone, 10-10. Michigan State hasn't scored since. 27 unanswered Northwestern points, a couple on long touchdown runs by Damian Anderson. This one 32 yards. We showed you during the game a 41-yarder. And late in the game in East Lansing, Northwestern is on its way to 4-1 overall, 2-0 in the conference. They're going to beat Michigan State in the conference opener. And Damian Anderson, 218 yards, putting up another DA-like numbers. Darnell Autry, the old Northwestern back, put up numbers like that.
Well, I tell you, Randy Walker has done a great job of putting together some outstanding athletes and a great offensive and defensive package. You know, they're 2 games away from being bowl eligible. Damian Anderson, what a day. This team, I'm telling you, last week a confidence builder against Wisconsin, but 2 in a row like this team now believes they can go out there and win 6, 7, 8 football games.
Michigan coach Lloyd Carr said this week what Randy Walker's doing offensively, the league hasn't seen out of Northwestern. It's going to take a while to adjust. They better hit the film room on Sunday. Another Big Ten game going on right now is in Minnesota, and the Golden Gophers are putting a hurting on Illinois like they did last year. Travis Cole, the junior college quarterback, so good at throwing it, and JC running it. A 1 and then an 8-yard touchdown run, up 14-0. Then Tellis Redmond runs it from 20 yards out. Minnesota jumped out 28-0. They had a 37-7 win last year against Illinois in Champaign. That has just gone final now. A 34-point win for Minnesota over an Illinois team that lost the game to Michigan last week and now gets a second conference loss and certainly will fall out of the top 25.
Well, a big win for Minnesota, but I think Illinois, what's going on at Illinois? Everyone was predicting maybe 9, 10 wins this season, but Kurt Kittner did not have a good day today. They were not ready to play. You have to think that tough loss against Michigan, the fumbles, all the publicity had to hurt them going into this football game.
Minnesota wins by 34. Northwestern on the road leading by 27. What's going on in the Big Ten? Michigan-Wisconsin, a 13-10 game, the way the Big Ten usually is. We're back with more on the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report on this doubleheader Saturday. It's another game coming your way here on ABC. And we welcome you back to the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. Michigan beat Wisconsin, so Michigan and Northwestern likely to go to 2-0 in the conference. Ohio State plays at Wisconsin next week. The Buckeyes are 1-0. The only other undefeated Big Ten team, Purdue, many of you will see in the second game of our doubleheader. Purdue is at Penn State. And for a preview, here's Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy.
All right, Mike, thanks. Welcome to Beaver Stadium, State College, Pennsylvania. We get set for Purdue and Penn State. And Penn State's defense has to look at this guy, Drew Brees, who's putting up great numbers again. But as you can see, when he's played the big boys, Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State, it's an 0 for 5. Bob Greasy, I had to chuckle a little bit coming over here today. One of the pregame radio shows says, you know, Drew Brees never plays well against Penn State. He's only averaging 370 yards a game passing, but he hasn't beaten them.
Last year when Joe Tiller and Drew Brees sat down to discuss whether or not Drew was going to come back for his senior year at Purdue, one of the things that they discussed was taking the Purdue program to the next level. And the next level to those two guys meant beating Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. 3 teams that Drew and Joe Tiller had not beaten in all the years they had been there. This is an opportunity for them to start this year to get back at some of the next level teams and to take the Purdue program to another level.
Well, that other level could be a Rose Bowl. Who knows? Like Greasy did. That's what Brees is hoping for. A long time. Mike, back to you.
Among the great Purdue quarterbacks, not just of all time, but on our roster as well. You think Gary Danielson. How do you see this game here today?
You know, this is the first time I think in a long time Penn State really doesn't have a chance in this game unless Purdue turns the ball over. And, you know, with Drew Brees, he's had 6 interceptions returned for touchdowns. It's going to take turnovers by Purdue just for Penn State to have a chance in this game, I think.
An emotional week for Penn State. We'll see how the Nittany Lions respond there. In the Big Ten, in the first half of our doubleheader on ABC, it was David Terrell on the business end of a Drew Henson catch, just like they did this summer a mile away from here in Central Park. Michigan beat Wisconsin 13-10.
Business for a customer-driven world.
Back here in New York on the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report after Michigan won its 800th all-time game, tying Yale. And by the way, Yale has a short lead right now, just 4 points in their game against Holy Cross. The battle to see who gets to 801 first. See if Yale does it later on this afternoon. Let's check other games going on around the country, starting with the ACC. And your brother Tommy Terry is getting it done for Clemson against Duke. This was a no-problem game. Duke without its starting quarterback, Romine out, so D. Bryant got the start. Got to meet one of the best linebackers in the ACC. Keith Keith Adams the sack. Eventually led to a score, 7-0 Clemson, and Woody Dantzler an outstanding day. If he gets to New York for the Heisman, that breaking ankle tackle run will be on his highlight reel. That put Clemson up 28, and it's been easy for the team today. Everybody's talking about Woody Dantzler around the country. He ran for 3 touchdowns. He passed for 1. This team right now, what they can't do is start thinking about Florida State. The tendency is to think about Florida State. They got too many games. NC State is off this week, preparing today for Clemson. So what they've got to do is take each game one at a time. NC State's going 16 days between games. Chuck Amato, Bobby Bowden's old assistant on the defensive side, 4-0, and a great true freshman quarterback in Phillip Rivers. That'll be a very good game next Saturday in the ACC. In the Big 12, they retired Ricky Williams' number today in Austin. Texas has been pushed by Oklahoma State a little bit. After a blocked punt, Reggie White ran over 100 yards in the first half, 10 of them there, and the Cowboys of Bob Simmons up on the Longhorns, and they had a chance to get the ball in good field position mid-third, but Major Applewhite 96 yards to Roy Williams. Applewhite last year set the school record with a 97-yard touchdown pass. Now he's first and second on that list. Texas has scored twice more in their cruise. You know, Mac Brown was telling me how many ways he's tried to keep 2 quarterbacks happy. He's got 2, and they're only 1 year apart. It's not like you got a senior and a freshman. He's starting one, he's starting the other. But Applewhite, you know, you've almost got to start him next week. After day, again, taking over, throwing a huge touchdown pass. This game could have very well gone the other way, 10-7. The ball backed up inside their own 5-yard line. He comes out, throws a huge bomb. They go on and win the game easily. So Texas with the victory there in that battle in the Big 12 South. North meets South in the Big 12 with Kansas and Oklahoma. An early field goal for Bob Stoops' Sooners, trying to get to 4-0 for the first time in 7 years. From a stat standpoint, one of the eye-popping guys coming into and continuing this season has been LaDainian Tomlinson of TCU, the undefeated Horned Frogs, in Annapolis to take on Navy. There, Tomlinson has stopped but keeps going and managed to become the all-time leading rusher in TCU history with that run, and then he punched it in from 4 yards out. It was close at the half, but Navy winless, TCU undefeated. Tomlinson a solid day. Well, why can Tomlinson win a Heisman Trophy? What's he got to do? Well, the magical 2,000-yard-a-season number is a possibility. He's got to do that. But their defense is so good, they can also go undefeated. So that won't get him in the BCS, but 2,000 yards, undefeated season, it'll get him to New York. Whether he wins or not, it'll get him to New York. Some of the other Heisman guys, obviously Chris Winkie from Florida State, and one of the people many people will see in a little bit, Drew Brees at Purdue. Well, I think Drew Brees is the one guy. He's going to have the stats. He may be the best pure quarterback out there. Michael Vick, the talent included, really. Drew Brees understands how to be a quarterback, but you've also got to win ball games. I said to you earlier, if Winkie wins them all in a championship, then Winkie may win it. If Michael Vick wins them all and goes to the championship, he may win it. If Drew Brees wins 9, he'll get it because of his stats are so good. And he starts that tough part of the schedule. Even though Penn State's 1-4, it's a hurdle he has not been able to go over. More on the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report in a little bit. Getting you ready for the second game of our doubleheader after Michigan beat Wisconsin 13-10 earlier this afternoon on ABC.
The Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. The car you want, the service you expect, all at a low rate. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
Coming up in a little bit, we'll split the country 4 ways. Many of you will see Drew Brees try to become a Big Ten record holder against Penn State. In the Big 12, Kansas State undefeated, Colorado winless, but they've been in each game in the fourth quarter. The folks in Washington and Oregon don't like each other. Their football teams are good. And Georgia Tech can't lose this game. If they do, they're 0-3 in the ACC, and really they're going to struggle to get to a bowl. They're taking on North Carolina in a little bit. Stay down south in the Southeastern Conference. Auburn at 4-0 and in great shape thus far the early part of the season. Rudy Johnson's been a terrific runner. Today a conference game for Tommy Tuberville taking on Vanderbilt. And a little trickery here. Damon Duval, the sophomore kicker. Is he going to run? No, he's going to throw to Lorenzo Diamond, a long way from the verbal exchange the kicker had with Tommy Tuberville on the sidelines last year. 10-0 in special teams again. Here a block punt. Cassinius Moore is going to recover for 6. And it's a War Eagle on the plains of Alabama right now. All Auburn, 24-0 over Vandy. Well, you know, everybody just expects the Vanderbilt game to be close because Vandy plays everybody well. But Auburn playing better than anybody in the Western Division. The only undefeated team now in the Western Division with Arkansas losing today. And so, again, Auburn doing everything well. Blocking punts, faking punts, and playing offense. On the other side of the state, the heat on Mike Dubose. It came out this week that Dubose had offered his resignation after the Southern Miss game. The AD said no, stay right where you are. And right where they are today is at home against the South Carolina team Lou Holtz has undefeated. undefeated. Right now it's 3-0. South Carolina, the early lead in that game as they try to stay undefeated. Also in the Southeastern Conference, Arkansas has not lost at home in the Houston Nutt era. That will change. Quincy Carter's had a fabulous day, and Georgia with a nice 38-0 dominating performance. Arkansas coming off that emotional victory over Alabama last Saturday night. And in the Big 12, Texas A&M leads Texas Tech, now only 4. Tech's getting back in this one, Terry.
This would be huge for Mike Leach. Remember, they hired him to beat teams like Texas A&M and Texas. They had beaten the other teams. If he could actually pull this off, it would jumpstart that program way ahead of schedule, but it's not over yet, I promise you.
We'll be watching that game. We'll see at halftime with more scores and highlights set to take you around the country for more college football. The doubleheader continues next on ABC.